Hello, everyone. Thank you for checking out today's episode of Hardball Sports Talk, brought to you by Hardball Sports Media. My name is Brandon. Today, we are going to talk about the NFL, last week's games, and look at this coming week's games. And also, we're going to look at a couple of stories going on in the sports world. So let's get started. So the big story of the week is Steph Curry broke the all-time record for three-pointers made in the NBA career. And he's still got a couple years left in him. Who knows? I would guess 5 to 10 more years in him. So he'll probably run away with that one, and we'll make a podcast about how I feel about all this. I was listening to the Dan Patrick show this morning, or Wednesday morning, excuse me. I'm recording this one Wednesday night, but I was listening to the Dan Patrick show, and they brought up a really interesting point. Is Steph Curry good for basketball? And we're going to talk about that on the podcast on Friday. We're going to talk about, is Steph Curry good or bad for the game of basketball? And my opinion, you might not like. We'll leave it at that. We'll talk about a few other things in the sports world that are a little bit controversial. This is a topic I've wanted to talk about really since I thought about doing this podcast and YouTube channel. This is a topic that I said, if there's ever a dry period, this is what I want to talk about. And so we're going to do that this Friday. So be sure to check out that episode. I'm really excited about recording it. We'll see how it goes and stuff like that, but should be a good episode to talk about. But nonetheless, Steph Curry, all-time leader now in three-pointers in the NBA history, and who knows if that'll last or not. I think it might for a while, but a lot of players are now coming up shooting three-pointers a lot more now, so you never know. Somebody might catch up to him and break that someday. Records are meant to be broken after all. And then another big story going on in the sports world, unfortunately, is the virus going around. Not a fun time right now for that. A lot of protocols and stuff like that being put in place. Canada, specifically Ontario, which is where the Raptors and the Maple Leafs play, and I believe also Ottawa's involved in this too. But certain provinces in Canada are limiting fans to 50% capacity for the games for the time being. So really sad to see there. Hopefully we can get fans back in the building at full capacity in Canada, because let's face it, sports are so much better with people in the crowd. Watching the games in 2020 with empty stadiums just wasn't right. Talking to people who watched the hockey playoffs and stuff like that, for example, said, this isn't hockey. Like, you can't get a playoff atmosphere with no crowd. So hopefully we can get some crowds back in, and hopefully we can get all this stuff under control, or just live our lives and move on. That's a topic that I'm not going to get into. We're not going to talk about that too much here, but it is a sports story. So we'll see if it affects games, though. A lot of hockey and basketball games have been pushed back, and there's 7 NFL teams who are dealing with strict COVID things right now. So we'll see what happens with that and stuff like that. But hopefully we can get all the games in, especially the NFL this week, because the NFL is a tight week schedule. And what I mean by that is there's really no space for makeup games. In hockey, they have a 3-week window right now where they have games not going on. And then you have the Olympic breaks too, which I would be shocked right now if the hockey people go to the Olympic Games. I'd honestly be shocked if that happens. Again, time will tell on that, though. But football doesn't have an Olympic break or a 3-week break in there. So football's really got to get her going in order to get the season done in time. We'll see what happens. I personally don't think they'll miss any games or anything like that, but we'll see. Speaking of football games, let's look at last week's games and how we did on the picks. We had a little bit of an off week. Thursday night, the Steelers fell to the Vikings 36-28. The Browns beat the Ravens 24-22. We got both those games wrong. The Titans beat the Jaguars 20-0. We got that one right. Chiefs destroyed the Raiders 48-9. We got that one right. Saints beat the Jets 30-9. We got that one right. The Cowboys beat the Washington football team. We got that one wrong. And I even said, I believe at the time when I picked that one, that I might be wrong on this one, but bulletin board material, because Mike McCarthy Dallas as coach, guaranteed victory. And Washington only lost by 7, so they did keep it close. The Falcons beat the Panthers 29-21. We got that one wrong. Seahawks beat the Texans 33-13. That game, first half especially, was a lot closer than that. Same as the next game, the Broncos beat the Lions 38-10. But the first half, the Lions were able to keep it close. The Chargers beat the Giants 37-21. We got all those 3 games right. And then the Bengals fell to the 49ers 26-23. We got that one wrong. Bucks beat the Bills 33-27. And the Packers beat the Bears 45-30. We got both those ones right. And then the Rams beat the Cardinals 30-23. We got that one wrong. So kind of a so-and-so week for us. We got 8 right. So not great numbers by any stretch of imagination. But there's always this week. So let's see if we can do anything better this week. Thursday night. So tonight we got the Chiefs and the Chargers. I'm going to take the Chiefs to win this game. Road game. Thursday night football road games. Normally the road teams don't do too good on that. But the Chiefs are clicking on all cylinders right now. And this is a big game for the division. Kansas City being 9-4 and LA being 8-5. So the winner of this one really isn't a good position to win the division this year. Saturday, there's a couple games going on this week. First, the Raiders and the Browns. I'm going to take the Browns to win that game. However, speaking of all that virus stuff that we were talking about a minute ago, Baker Mayfield and Kevin Stefanski. Baker's obviously the quarterback, and Stefanski's the head coach for Cleveland. They're both in protocol right now, so we'll see if one or both of them will miss the game. If that's the case, then Las Vegas will win, I believe. But because I have to pick today, I'm picking Cleveland. And I'm not going to come back if I hear anything and change my picks. This is what I'm picking. I'm just going to stick with it. I know it's a little foolish, but this is what I'm picking when I'm recording, so I have to stick with that. The Patriots and the Colts, I'm going to take the Patriots. That's also on Saturday. It should be a good game, though. Brings back a lot of fun memories of the rivalry with Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. So hopefully those two franchises can respark that rivalry because those were some really fun games. And now we got the Panthers and the Bills playing on Sunday. I'm going to take the Bills to win that game. The Panthers are not playing strong football right now. Cam Newton has been benched now 2 weeks in a row. So he doesn't seem like the long-term answer at quarterback. A lot of people were excited when they brought him back, but it just hasn't worked out as well as we were hoping it would. I'm going to take the Dolphins to beat the Jets. The Jets are a mess. Dolphins, they were supposed to be a good team this year, which they're 6-7, so not a terrible team by any stretch of imagination. But a lot of people thought they'd be competing for the division this year. Clearly not working out that way so far for them. So disappointing season so far for the Dolphins, but I'll take them to win that game. Now we got the Washington football team and the Philadelphia Eagles. Both teams are 6-7, so I'm going to take the Eagles just because it's a home game for them. Now we got the Cardinals at Detroit. The Cardinals should have no problems with the Lions. As much as I'd love to see the Lions win that game, I just don't see it happening. Now we got the Cowboys and the Giants. I'm going to take the Cowboys to win this game. Giants, Danny Dimes, not the answer at quarterback, I don't think. I really like Joe Judge, though. I think he's a good coach, a good culture guy. I know he's from the Belichick tree, which the Belichick tree has not done very well in the past, but who knows? He might be able to turn things around. Now we got the Titans and the Steelers. I'm going to take the Titans to win this game. And then the matchup of the week, and there's some sarcasm there, okay? The Texans and the Jaguars. Both teams are 2-11. And as crazy as it sounds, as a Lions fan, there's a lot on the line in this game. Because the loser is in the position for the top pick with us. So I'm going to take Houston to win this game. I think Jacksonville's a dysfunctional mess right now. There's reports coming out now that Urban Meyer kicked one of the kickers in camp. Urban Meyer's losing that locker room left and right. It's such a bad situation down there. I don't see how he'll survive the offseason, which we'll do that episode the last week of the season. We'll talk about who I think is going to get fired on that Monday. That Monday is usually when people get fired in the NFL. So the last week of the season, we'll do that on the Friday episode for the podcast. Of the 4 o'clock games, we got the Bengals and the Broncos. I'm going to take the Bengals to win this game. Both teams are 7-6, but the Bengals, I think, are the better team. Now we got the Falcons and the Niners. I'm going to take the Niners to win this game. And then we got the Packers and the Ravens. I'm going to take the Packers to win that one. The Seahawks and Rams. Seahawks are not playing good football at all this year, really underachieving. So I'm going to take the Rams there. Now we got the Saints and the Buccaneers. I'm going to take Tampa to win that one. Get some revenge on the Saints, who beat them on Halloween. And then Monday night is the Vikings and the Bears. I'm going to take the Vikings to win this game. Really, both teams are kind of dysfunctional right now. I don't think either head coach will survive. And again, we'll talk about that in a couple weeks. So, like I said last week during the episode, I'm not doing my favorite play of the week in sports because it keeps getting flagged on YouTube, and I really don't want to take off the YouTube algorithm too much. So I'm just not going to be doing that until I can figure out how to get around that. So hopefully we'll get that back and up for you guys. Thank you guys so much for checking out today's episode of the podcast. Be sure to like and follow the Facebook and Instagram pages. Links for those are in the description. Some exciting posts on the Facebook page yesterday. Posted last night. And I say last night, I mean Wednesday night. We got some merch, so be sure to check that post out. If you're interested in the merch, let me know. Basically getting a feeler out there right now. If I get enough interest, I'll do another order for it. I only have enough for basically my small circle right now, so I'm not really selling any right now. But in the future, if there's enough interest, I will sell. So be sure to be on the lookout for those on the Facebook and Instagram pages. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, drop them in the comment box below. All comments are appreciated. I know this is a little sloppy. I'm trying my best right now. But the more I do this, the better I'll get at it. So that's kind of where I'm at right now, is just practice makes perfect. So thank you for being patient with me as I'm learning all the ropes of the microphone and the editing and stuff like that. It's been kind of fun, but can't really challenging at the same time. And then finally, be sure to check out the podcast. We got episodes every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And like I said, this Friday we're going to be talking about the things in sports that I don't like. So be on the lookout for that episode. All right, well, guys, thank you so much for checking out today's episode. I will talk to you guys later.